Right, let's make a start. Fabulous. So today's session is called Theatre of the Mind, and that's exactly, and it is exactly that. It's a place where our imagination, our realities can meet. So if you think about it, every change that you've ever made will have begun with imagination first. Every action we do pretty well begins with imagination first. We picture it, we imagine ourselves doing it, we have the impression that we're going to be doing the thing, or we're making that change, or we're going to do this, or we're going to make something. And then we either go and do it straight away, or maybe we have to rehearse it a bit beforehand before we actually do the final thing. But it all starts with imagination. I mean, the whole world that we've created for ourselves starts off in people's imaginations. The buildings we live in, the cutlery we use was once somebody had an image in their head and thought, oh, well, if I did that to that, then I could. It's all imagination. So tonight we're going to explore a little bit that creative part of the mind, not as fantasy or make believe, but as the quiet stage where real transformation can begin. And we don't need to be, and well, everyone knows this, but I will reiterate it. You don't need to be good at visualizing. You don't have to be able to see things in your head like a movie. You don't have to be the world's most amazing hypnotic subject. Your mind already knows how to imagine. It does it every time you daydream. It does it every time you dream. Every time you're thinking ahead about what you're going to get when you go shopping, you're using your imagination. So let's just start by simply just arriving, just a few moments to just kind of go, here we are. So just take a moment to notice where you're sitting, things about you. Become aware of the light in the room. And as I said that, maybe you've looked directly at the light source, or maybe you're just looking around at how the light cascades around the room. It's all okay. Just be aware of that. And just be aware of the sound of your own breath. Maybe take a nice, slow, deep breath in. Hold it. Just breathe out. Taking a second, deep breath in. Just breathing out, letting the busyness of the day soften. And a third wonderful, deep breath in. And there's nothing to fix, nothing to prove as you breathe out, just curiosity. This is a time and an invitation to just play a little bit, to discover your imaginations. So, in change work, by that, I cover a whole range. Change work is kind of when you're helping other people make changes or to develop within themselves, but it's also when you're working on yourself and your own development. It's anything that helps us change, basically. But in changed work, we talk a lot about beliefs and behavior. This belief can keep us trapped, or another belief can set us free. If we believe we can, we can. If we believe we can't, we can't. Both are right, if you believe it. But underneath belief, underneath behavior, there is imagination. belief is just imagination that you forgot you imagined. And hypnosis is simply imagination with focus. When the conscious mind relaxes its grip, our imagination becomes the operating system of change. So rather than kind of analyzing how we think or anything like that, tonight we'll explore how we imagine. Because if you can imagine differently, you can live differently. So let's begin with a short journey. Get yourself comfortable. Have a fidget, have a stretch. And when you're ready to relax and enjoy this journey, just allow your eyes to close, just in the time you need to take to relax. And take a nice, slow, easy breath in. And out. And there's nothing to do, just relax. Follow my voice, follow the instructions to the best of your ability. So I invite you to imagine that somewhere within you, maybe it's in your mind, maybe it sits in your heart, your chest, maybe it sits in your stomach or in your feet, but just imagine somewhere within you, there's a small theatre. The kind of quaint, kind of little theatre that you might stumble upon down a quiet side street. You don't realize it's there, but as you go down, you see the side entrance, a theatre entrance, and you go, oh, it's a theatre. Maybe it's old brick. Maybe there's a wooden door. Maybe there's this faint smell of coffee wafting from inside it as a gentle rain begins to fall. So you open the door and step into the foyer. It's warm, familiar, maybe even a little bit magical. See what you see, hear what you hear. Just get a sense of being in that warm, familiar, magical foyer. So you notice the entrance to the main room and wander across and through into that main room. Soft velvet seats, lights dim down low. And there's the stage with the curtain drawn across it. Now, I don't know whereabouts you're going to sit in that theatre that'll allow you to really get the most out of this and to enter into it fully. Maybe you'll sit to the left-hand side of the stage to enter into this fully. Maybe you'll sit in the center rows to enter into this fully, or maybe it'll be on the right-hand side that you choose to sit to enter into this fully. But wherever you choose to sit now in that theatre to enter into this fully, just do that now. And as you sit, you realize this theatre belongs entirely to your mind. Every scene of your life has been played out here. Every emotion, every experience has had its moments under these lights. And for now, you are the audience. The curtain is closed, but you get that sense of movement behind it. the rustle of possibility. In a moment, that curtain will rise, and whatever appears, an image, a color, a memory, a symbol, is simply your imagination showing you what it wants you to see tonight. You do not have to search for meaning, just notice. Watch the scene unfold. Now, that's right. And perhaps you see a version of yourself on the stage. Perhaps you see something abstract or surprising. However it comes is perfect. And I don't know what that is on that stage. But begin to notice the sounds, the lighting, the feeling of watching your own mind perform. That's right. And now imagine the lights on the stage slowly dim again. The curtain falls. And you know the theatre crew, your unconscious mind, is quietly preparing the next act. And I just invite you to just slowly, in the time that you need to just return, to be back here, back now, leaving that theatre behind for now. And when you're ready to open your eyes, feeling good and relaxed, you can open your eyes, be here now. And if you've got a pen and paper, just jot down anything that came to you whilst you were looking at that stage. And we'll have a look at that in a moment. And once you've done that, we'll pause the recording. We'll just take a look at what that might be, whether it's a vague sense of something or a really clear impression of something. We'll look at what might your imagination have been showing you. Not to analyze it, but simply to describe it and share it and explore it. Move into the next bit. So you've if you're rewatching this, you'll have kind of maybe jotted down some of the things that came to you. And what we're going to do now is we're going to step back into the theatre. But this time, you're not going to be the audience. You're going to be the director. So I'll invite you again to just take a nice deep breath in As you breathe out, just gently allow your eyes to close and just drift yourself back inside. See yourself walking back down the aisle of that theatre, down towards the stage. See what you see, hear what you hear, curtains down. And you notice there's a tall wooden chair waiting there. It's got your name on the back of it. And underneath that, it just says director. Just get a feel for that director's chair, sitting down on it. Because from here, you can rewrite any scene you've ever played. You can change the lighting, the script, the timing, even the characters. So I'm going to invite you to pick one small moment in your life. Maybe a conversation, a pattern you've repeated, a reaction that you have to something, something that you just think, oh, I'd like to experience that differently. It could even be something like a certain type of music that friends like listening to, but you don't quite enjoy it so much. And you think, well, actually, it'd be nice to experience that differently because then maybe I could get it like they get it. So once you've got that, just give me a gentle nod of the head. That's it. So now, as director, I want you in your mind in that theatre to call action. Just allow that scene to start happening. But allow your imagination to adjust the scene. So maybe you change the tone of the people speaking. Maybe if it's something that's maybe something that was a bit difficult, maybe you add some humor to lighten it. Maybe it's one of those moments where you wish they'd said something, but you didn't. Well, just give that past self that line you wish you'd said. Or if it's a memory where you just think, oh, I wish I'd enjoyed that a bit more, maybe cue the audience and have the audience applauding for your courage or for the experience. Just play with it. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Your unconscious mind just loves rehearsal. So play around with it. Take a minute or so just to experiment with it. Get it just right. If the actors on the stage and the people on the stage seem about right, then think about the lighting. Does it need more light to make it stand out? Does it need some warm mood lighting to soften the mood? What you can do with the lighting? What can you do with the sound? Is there music? What kind of music? Just keep playing with that for a minute or so. That's right. Just a few more adjustments. Or if it kind of feels like it's just where it needs to be now, just watch it through a few times just to be completely satisfied with that new scene, that new script. And when the scene feels right, just allow the curtain on that stage to fall down once more and allow yourself to feel that quiet satisfaction of a director who knows the new script is ready. And then when you're ready, just allow yourself to return back to be here now. If you need to make a note or want to make a note about it, just do. Pause this. If you're watching this on record, I want you to explore things like, what did you change? What differences did you make? How did it feel to be the director instead of the actor? When you think back to whatever that situation is, how does it feel now that you've made those changes? Oh, press that. So these two methods are a really great way of approaching things that we can either change how we feel or how we relate to things in our past. We can use it for things that are going on now. So if there's a situation, say in work or in life, that's just a bit more stressful or we're feeling a bit stuck in, we can go into that theatre. We can see the scene as it is, but then we can go from watching it as the audience into the director chair and go, actually, what's going to make this scene better? What makes this a scene where there's less stress and the problem is solved really easily? And it's your imagination. So you don't necessarily have to be sensible with this. You know, if there's a problem at work and there's a problem that needs solving and it's stressing everyone out and it can't be done yet, to see yourself first in that theatre watching that play out, to then drift into that director's chair. Okay, what would make this? How would you solve this? Well, I don't know. If Sherlock Holmes was there, he'd solve this problem. No problem. He'd just look at it and go, right, that needs doing, that needs doing, that needs doing. Let's bring Sherlock Holmes in. Let's bring some thinking into this that just can solve this really quite easily and logically. Or if it's just something you're not looking forward to, you can do things like you can make, I don't know, we've all been invited to that event you can't really get out of, but so you have to go, but you're like, oh, I don't want to go. So that's because we're playing a scene of it in our imaginations about how terrible it's going to be. So play that scene on the on in the theater, change it, light it up, lift it up, put some pyrotechnics in it, put everyone in bright, colorful costumes. Or if it's something that's like, nah, I just want to get it over and done with, put the scene up there and imagine on the stage a giant clock and the hands start turning faster and faster as approaches and the time that event runs for. Imagine the clock's doing this and everybody's moving around like you've pressed fast forward on the stage. And then when the event gets to the end, you can slow it back down to normal pace and the curtain can fall. And you're basically, you go through it a number of times in your head. You're telling your unconscious mind through the imagery and through your imagination that you want the time in that boring meeting, for instance, to pass really quickly. Oh, it's going to go on. It's going to be a 2 hour meeting. I had a 2 hour meeting last night. God, it went on. Um, had I thought about it, I could have done this and put it so I see myself in the meeting and direct it so the time seems to go really quickly. And by the end of it, I'm leaving thinking, oh well, that happened really quick. That was great. I expected that to feel like forever. Um, and I rehearse it. I go through it a couple of times in my mind. We've just been talking about running. Athletes will always rehearse their track, their running, their performance in their mind as much as they do in the real world because they know that it helps improve and helps condition them mentally as well as physically. So we can use this theatre setup in our own minds to rehearse the outcome, rehearse how we want to feel, rehearse how we want to feel differently, to problem solve. Does it mean that you kind of say you get Sherlock Holmes on the stage and instantly the moment you come out of the theatre you're going to go, I know what to do? No, but it probably means within the next 24 hours at work, for instance, that solution is going to present itself. Sometimes you might just come out of it and go, yeah, no, just you might wake up the next morning and just go, oh yeah, I know what to do. Or you go to that 2 hour long boring meeting like I had last night, and and suddenly realize that you're having a pint in the pub way quicker than you thought you would. Um, that wasn't the case last night. It felt a really long time and a well-earned pint. Um, but it's a wonderful tool for engaging your imagination, for your own personal growth, your own personal development, but also you can guide other people through it as well. You could use it for people that are nervous about going to the doctors or hospital or dentists. You know, if there's an image that they always play in their mind, take them into it. Sit them down. Watch that show that makes going to the dentist so terrible. Okay. Now go into director's chair, redirect it. What makes it fine? Well, if it's a terrible image, then some humor, some color, and some crazy music would probably make a hell of a difference to how that feels. Change how you're representing it. Change the movie, change the play in your mind. So let's gather there just one final time. Take a nice slow breath in. You should breathe out. You may like to let your eyes close again, knowing that that theatre is still there, waiting. And what have we done tonight? Well, you've reminded yourself tonight that imagination is not childish. Imagination is creative intelligence. It's how our minds learn. It's how our minds heal. And it's how we can rehearse the future. Every time you picture success, calm, or confidence, you're already rehearsing it on that inner stage. And when life gives you another scene tomorrow, remember, you can always just sit back in that director's chair and enjoy playing with the theatre of the mind, just as we've been doing tonight. And that curtain may close for now, but the show goes on quietly inside of us all.